with your plans for this in this community, is it going to be kind of set up like a DAO? So like the people that lived here would also be invested in the land and have like voting rights through however the token share worked out, kind of.
Yeah, so we'll create a coin, and then some sort of DAO or land trust or a land trust DAO, so that all of the land gets put into the trust or into the DAO, and then the community members don't own it. I think when you're invested in something, you have an interest in caring for it. But when you own it as individuals, it starts to separate us. It starts to become separate. Like, you own that, I own this. I think we own responsibilities on the land. So we each have something that, we're the soul, you basically like you own the department, and then you would be able to make decisions on that particular thing. But we would work together to take care of the land. So we've risen the land to the status of guru. So then you take the ego thing about, because whenever you do intentional communities or communes, the thing that always gets in the way is the ego of like the master or the leader, guru, the leader, who ends up taking advantage because he gets ahead of himself or too big for his britches. So we take that out of the equation. So we serve the land, and the land can get as big as it wants, as abundant as it needs to be, and there really is no limit. So that's in theory. And then, so when you come to live on this land, you will buy into the trust. You will invest in the trust. Yeah, so you will own a piece of it, I guess.
No, that's really cool. So because you also have a fund, is this something that, are they kind of in cohesion together? Like the fund would, I guess, entertain the idea of helping someone else start this, to not like scale necessarily because it would be its own entity, but to kind of create more of these little pockets.
So twofold. Yes, they're related because they're all tied together in certain lifestyle and a perspective. So all of our investments they reflect the lifestyle that we're building here, but out in the world. So they scale the ideas and the wisdom that we're cultivating here, but out in the world at large. And so through Du Contra, we invest in human development, personal development. So the up-leveling of the individual, sovereignty, mental health, nutritional health, good gut biome, so that people are making the best decisions and they're sovereign and they're independent and they can make those solid, wise choices. Community, so communitas is one of our verticals. So investing in tools to help people work together better or come together or collaborate. And then money is another thing. So the future of finance, how do we heal our relationship to money, fiat and otherwise, so that we can build tools and systems like crypto or other institutions to bring more equity and access, so that when a human is leveled up and they're working with others to build the world, they have the tools, money to go build it. And so then the final category is consumer goods. So what are they building? Consumer goods that are better for people and the planet. And we stay out of the way. We're agnostic in that way. We're not trying to make specific bets on companies. It's more category wide, so that we believe within those verticals, people can be empowered enough to go out and build the world. And that by default, it will be better because they're the ones being inventive. So as we were talking before, empowering individuals as opposed to telling them how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's great too, because I think there's this misconception that you're automatically bad or evil if you're successful and you're making a lot of money. I think it's like John Mackey that talks about conscious capitalism, and to some people that seems like an oxymoron, but if we all adopted this idea of ethics behind our profits, like what a better world that would be, even on like an individual scale. So I've always said, like, when you have this really big platform and this big audience that you've built over the years, that's great. But I think a lot of people kind of have this illusion that they own that audience and that that audience solely exists to line their pockets. And I think when you have that, it's almost such a waste, and to me it's wrong to not use it in an ethical way, and also be having some exchange back and forth where you're also contributing to them and you're providing them with something valuable. And I'm like, we exist for so much more than to just be rich. That doesn't make sense. And if you are one of these very rare people that has hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, it's like, well, what are you providing back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I know John Mackey. He's a local here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he's great. I've never met him, but
conscious capitalism. Yes. We have our own term that we call YBM. So you have ROI, return on investment. Then we have YBM, which is a different metric, which is yields beyond money. So money, yeah, ROI, got it. But now what is that thing that you can't quite calculate? Just beyond the edges of our calculators, the intangible, the ineffable, the judgment call, the wisdom, all of those things. And that really requires, we always hire within DuContra people with high IQ and then a high EQ, because they're making judgments, not just on spreadsheets, but they're making personal, important judgments when they, assess a company based on, factors that you can't even, calculate.
Mm-hmm. And that's really important right now too, especially when you're getting into like these new spaces, whether it's cryptos, NFTs, or in the metaverses. Like, you have to be kind of investing in that person and like their principles, and being able to have some level of psychology to know if that's an honest actor or not, because it's so new and unregulated. So to have someone that has a high EQ, which people don't think is real, but I absolutely think you have emotional intelligence. Just go talk to a few people on the street and you'll see the variance there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're very perceptive.
Am I?
Yeah. you like have the range of understanding, which is really, this conversation's been very
it just goes
expansive.
I always have like notes and then I never look at them. I'm like, well, we didn't get to any of those, but we went to some really cool places.
Well, do you want to talk about Earth Speed?
Yes, I do, actually.
Because that was the second piece, right?
Yeah.
So we have the investment vertical, and then we have the lifestyle vertical,
which
is Earth Speed. And that's how we bring it all together. So we're investing in companies that are building companies of the future, but then we're also building a lifestyle platform, which is the way that we communicate and share this lifestyle, a lifestyle in the cadence of nature. So check it out. It's Earth Speed on Instagram and YouTube, and it's essentially just sharing my experience learning, being the apprentice on the land, learning how to farm, learning how to be more self-reliant and self-sufficient, sovereign, and learning how to build this thing that we've been talking about. So build the community, bring in crypto and the metaverse, and also how to like cook better and eat better, so that you can like actually infuse your microbiome with healthy microbes from fermented foods, how to use manure as compost, a hay bale urinal that so we're having a party tonight. So I'm so proud of this. Hay bale urinal is the first step towards our full compost toilet system. So we can actually start to use, and this may be gross for some people, but it's not. It's fucking nature, and which is so cool. But you pee into a hay bale, and so you have the perfect blend of carbon and nitrogen. So your urine has naturally, is nitrogen rich, and then you have carbon. So within a compost system, you need a good blend of both greens and browns, nitrogen and carbon, and then it actually becomes healthy, nutrient-dense soil. So that's so
it'll help start breaking everything down in your compost, and then you just reutilize it as fertilizer.
Right, and this goes back to our initial conversation. When you start to accumulate a lot of waste, then you have to deal with it.
Then you get illness.
Right. So when you're in a city and everyone pees into a toilet and they flush it and it goes into a centralized wastewater treatment plant. You got to put a bunch of chemicals in it. You got to treat it. It's sludge. It's gross. But when you, on a small scale, if you start to compost it immediately, nature will take care of it. Nature will turn it back into earth. And then you can grow food and you can have, better soil that's, that starts to absorb rainwater, so you don't have a lot of runoff. It's not desert. It's rich and dense, and the soil movement is big right now. With regenerative soil, that's actually helping to draw down carbon from the air and bring it into the soil and create really rich soil for growing food, which makes better food. So you don't have to add a lot of artificial fertilizers and the like. So it's all part of the system, and so. It starts with a hay bale urinal, which I'm really proud of. I don't know how you would use it, but
right.
I need to build something so you can sit.
Some stairs.
Yeah, some stairs so you can squat or sit. Right now it's just for the guys.
Mm-hmm.
But you can learn how to do that on Earth speed.
No, I think that's so awesome. A lot of the content that I've been consuming lately is, I call it homestead.
Yes.
And like homestead talk and homestead Instagram. Because I'm like, I want to learn these like really valuable tools that we used to have and just like would be passed down that have been long forgotten. And it's just, how don't I know how to do this? I just feel so unprepared to live. But now at least I know about the hay bale trick. So I'm getting there.
When you look around the world and there's so much uncertainty,
mm-hmm.
and there's going to be some changes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movement. I mean, look at COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Were we prepared for COVID?
No.
Fuck no, we weren't.
No.
And that's what we're doing is we're, when we took Jamie's course, he talks about prepping for hipsters,
mm-hmm.
hipster prepping.
You got a Mad Max score, right?
Did I?
I think you did.
I don't remember.
Yeah. There was like 9 people. I did, but Eric said I wasn't qualified, so he took my point away. But
right. That's right. Yeah, like I'm definitely getting ready for who knows what.
Anything,
right?
yeah.
And not in a
paranoid way.
Like anxious, fearful way, but in a practical,
just
prepping
prepared
kind of way. We're just being prepared for a rainy day or a not rainy day.
Right.
That's why we have rainwater catchment. So we're capturing water so we can hold it and utilize it if there's a drought.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun. And you're in touch with the earth, and there's nothing better. It's so grounding and fulfilling. So you're gonna get out there and help me plant some things today?
Absolutely. I would love to, for sure.
Good. Because you're gonna.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll take some videos for Instagram.